this has been great. I think Heatwave is a really interesting case study in potential limiters and how you don't have to use them to actually decrease the skill ceiling. You don't have to use it as an approachability thing. It can really be a player incentivization thing where you use this as not because I don't want you to do cool stuff, but because I want you to, and I want you to think about how you're doing the cool stuff. So it seems that your supers, to some extent your EXs, but primarily your supers and your burst, reset the increased gravity that's on your opponent as the combo goes on. It's one of Monochrome Soft's potential limiters. I talked about this in a YouTube video I just put out this past week. The ways in which developers kind of limit what you're able to do in order to make sure the game doesn't get too crazy. But Monochrome seems to go for let everything get crazy and have them just be creative roadblocks, right? Being like, listen, this is how I'm not expecting to limit super complex combos. They seem to want them to exist. But instead they use the potential limiters as a way to, oh no, I lost it. But instead, Monochrome Soft uses their potential limiters as a way to incentivize players to try different things. I really like the combo system in Heatwave. It's a super easy like Magic series, right? Where you can you chain your attacks from light to heavy, but so you can go to any directional. Okay, here you go. So this is the cancel system they were talking about. So it can only cancel into attacks of equal or greater strength. It can cancel into anything except for itself. Standing C attacks can only cancel into other Cs, and then special moves. It's a great just like chain system, and it allows you a lot of freedom to string together moves in different ways depending on stage positioning, character positioning, whatever the case may be. Because the system is so open-ended with the way in which the normals cancel into specials, cancel into EXs, and then the way that you can use your supers and your burst to reset the increased gravity, it really is a matter of you just need to think about the 2 or 3 points in your combo that are going to need the gravity reset, right? I can do my jump AB loops until the damage is scaled down to 1, basically. But after a certain number of them, they're gonna drop out. So I can go into super, which gives me a bit of extra, like gravity leeway. It seems to be for maybe 1 or 2 hits, I can get 1 extra rep. EXs sometimes allow me an extra rep, though that seems much less reliable. But the big way is to use your burst, and when you burst, it seems to reset it entirely. I'm not positive on how the actual numbers work, but it really does seem to be all gravity is reset, and you can go back into your stuff, and that's where you're going to get your huge damage. I notice it, where it's like every time I burst, I end up doing, 130, 140 damage, even on pretty simple stuff, or stuff that I'm just fumbling through. See, too low. So it's all about watching the height, knowing where they are, and knowing when to reset your gravity, which you just have your couple of resources that you can use to do that. It's a fascinating system. I highly recommend, if you think any of this is even remotely interesting, and if you're a fighting game player, frankly, you should be thinking about how meter systems interconnect and how combo systems work and how potential limiters are implemented in your games. I highly recommend going to check out my potential limiter video. Cool shit and reasonable roadblocks. It'll break down some of what I've gone over here. It'll show you how a couple other different games have handled this kind of stuff.